All right, what's up, guys? So it's July, so that means that we are in prime season to buy Christmas books. It's whenever it's warm out, you're supposed to be thinking about Christmas books. You know, I do use Keepa mainly, but I also go off of my past and what I've sold really well in Christmas time before. So I will go into that a little bit, but first I want to show my Keepa and how I handle that. 1 second. There we go. All right. So I've come into Keepa. Listen, sorry, I'm making sure that my recording is doing good. I was glitching out there for a second. Okay, so my Keepa, I already have it already filtered out for me. I have Christmas books right here, so I just click it and it'll auto-populate my filters that I've already done, but I'll go over the filters with you to make sure that you guys understand where we're at. So it's not much different from if you've watched my other Keepa videos. I start out with 2,500,000, but what I do different a little bit, um, I take out Amazon, put out of stock, because that just eliminates a whole bunch. Like if we unclick that, you see we pops up by like 3,000 some books. So if I click that on, it'll show me all the books that aren't Amazon isn't on, which just eliminates all the books that are currently like in rotation. You're kind of wanting to look for those books that are older or are not really being printed much anymore. There's not a whole lot of new of them. And the next thing I do with my old on my how I source regular books is I'll throw 15 bucks right here. So that means that all the books that are currently at $15 and up, I will see those, but nothing above that. And then on the 180 day, I usually have 50 right here. So I'll see all the books that have 180 day average above that. And then that's kind of how that works. Now, coming down, the next thing I do, obviously, I'm looking for books, so that's the root category. And then also I'll type in right here, Christmas. And you'll see that there's like a whole bunch of things that pop up. I just do the generic Christmas. I'm sure you could probably play around with that, but that's it. That's all I do. All the other stuff, don't worry about it. Don't try to complicate it too much. And then we're gonna be searching. Now, there's going to be a ton of books that are not worth it, like this one. Not worth it whatsoever. This is not a great book. We're looking for the where it does dip down during the Christmas time with the green line, which is the seller rank, kind of like that. You see that big U shape right there? That's what you want to see. But you see how the black line, which is the lowest used offer count or used price, doesn't pop up. That's bad. That's not a good one to use, not a good example. So we're not going for this one. This one's a good selling. It sells like crazy, but the price just never actually pops up for us to make any money on it. So that's another example of not so good, just like this one. This one, I remember looking at it. This is more closer to what we're looking for. It doesn't quite pop up as much as I want it to, but it doesn't mean that the used buy box doesn't pop up higher. But I want to see that lowest used offer count pop up. This is closer to what we want, but we want it to pop up in that 30s. And I'm just gonna skip down and go to one that I know is an amazing book right here. This is what we want to see, and we're gonna look a little bit deeper into it. Hold on just a second. I want to see this. I want to go into Amazon. I like to analyze things on Amazon. That way I see everything, because it can be a little iffy on the Keepa, not showing me everything that I want to see, type of thing. Let's see here. Come down here, and we'll expand this Keepa graph to see the year, and you can see that. So the green line is the seller rank drops. So it's tons of demand during Christmas time. Once November hits, it starts going crazy. Pops up to 34 and higher. But the biggest thing that makes this an amazing book is it goes out of stock so much. So that tells me that there's so much demand for this book during the Christmas time that there is nothing that you can do that any one of us can do, or there's not enough of us, is what I'm trying to say. There's not enough of us to buy this book to where we're going to be able to keep up with the demand. It's just so much demand. Now, what you want to see in a Christmas book is this right here, the ups and downs. Just year after year, demand is going crazy. Now, the one thing that's a little bit concerning about this book, and not really this book so much, but if you see this on other books, is Amazon being on it. Because you see this year, the demand wasn't, it's there, there's tons of demand for it still, but Amazon was on it, so it kind of suppressed it a little bit, and it never even popped up above $8. But back here in 2022 season, it didn't matter. The demand was so high that it bought out all of Amazon, and then us resellers were able to make some money on it. Now, for the last 2 years, which is what you want to see, the last 2 years of data showing that you're good. You know, you've got, you know, more demand than supply from this year, more demand supply from this year. And this year we do have a little bit more supply than we did this time last year, but you can see even back here, whenever it was up in the 90s, it's still sold out really easily. So this is the type of book you want to see. It's just a picture perfect book. And right now, as you can see, it's, you know, stupid cheap. Like you can get it for $7.11 right now, and then turn around and sell it for $34. I bought it for $7.13, and if we can get it sold for $34, you know, that's almost 200% ROI on our profit. This is one great looking graph, and if you can find more books like this, that's what you want. Now, we found a good book. Now, that doesn't mean that we're done with this book, we can move on, because now we're going to come down here and we're going to look at these. I remember seeing this one. This one didn't really have a lot of good ones coming off of it, but you usually, like Christmas books, you'll be able to see other Christmas books, but this one, it's a whole bunch of like cartoon, classic illustrated books of, you know, popular movies, and none of the other ones, if I remember right, really were worth it. Yeah, no. This one was close, but not quite. But anytime you find an amazing book, don't just, you know, buy it and move on, or don't buy it and move on. Look at the books below it. This is another book that I bought. It's a little closer. Will be razor thin on the margins possibly, but it was so cheap, and I was gonna be able to make some money on it pretty easily. So I just went for it. But this is an example where you can come down here where you've bought a decent book. Now let's look at the books below. What is Amazon saying? Hey, these books are kind of related, you know, check these books out. Sometimes the graph won't pop up, which is annoying. But come down here, the customers also bought, and we'll be able to look at them a little bit more. This is an amazing book right here. I've bought these in the past. It's just not quite at the price I want it right now. That doesn't look bad. It's just underneath what I kind of want. But here's the thing. If we look at a book like this and the seller offer count is way lower than it was this time last year, this book's gonna pop up more. You know what I'm saying? So just because the graph showing right here isn't that good doesn't mean that it won't pop up. So don't just pass on it no matter what, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This is another one I remember. This one's pretty good, but the price is kind of high right now. That's another one that's pretty decent. Might look into this one a little more. I haven't bought this one yet. There's so many Christmas books. Like, I think my suggestion to everyone is to go wide. Don't try to go, you know, deep on one book. You know, try to spread it out a little bit. That way, you know, if you do make a bad buy, it's not so detrimental. I'm going deeper than I have before this year, mainly on the books that have, you know, been tried and true, like that I've already sold in the past and I've already made, you know, money on them. Those are the ones I'm going for. And speaking of that, we'll go into that. We'll use that as a segue to go into how I look at my past. I use Sellerboard. There is a link in the description if you want to check it out. It's mainly a kind of an accounting software that shows you your numbers, but you can also use it to look at your past. It's honestly a really good software for that. You can come here. So say I want to see like, all right, so what did I sell last year? So I'll go from November and I'll go all the way to January, because sometimes, you get some books after that. And I'll see what how much, well, number one, I can see how much money I made, but I'll come down here and I'll look at what sold. So like this Norman Rockwell Christmas book, I had sold 6 of them, but I made negative $14.42. So that's not really that good. Right now I have it filtered by like units sold. I can filter it by a net profit too. But I like to see which ones are selling a lot, like I've sold a lot of, and something I'm gonna be able to pick up a lot of, This is a DVD. I'm trying to stay away from DVDs because I'm trying to just use my prep center in order to do everything. I don't want to prep a whole bunch. But here we go. That's another Norman Rockwell's Christmas book. Sold 3 of them. Made $24.74 on 3 of them sold. That's pretty good. I remember having issues with the Norman Rockwell Christmas books. I would buy this one and I would get this one, or I'd buy this one and I'd get this one. So I'm kind of staying away from that this year. This is an amazing Christmas book. I'm just waiting for it to get down in price. It's just taking a little bit to get there. Let's actually look at it. But that's just the main thing I wanted to show is that, keep track. Somehow, if it's not Sellerboard, you don't have to use Sellerboard. Sellerboard's like 20 some bucks a month. It's definitely worth it in my opinion, but you don't have to do that. I also track my stuff on Google Sheets, but Sellerboard just kind of shows it to you a lot easier. But you can see in the previous years I bought it for $7.38, but right now look at that price. It's ridiculously high. This is a really good book. Because it just sells out so well, and it's really low in offer count. So if you can get this picked up for under 10 bucks, I would do it in a heartbeat, because this book always stays up there, always comes back up in price, into the 30s and higher even. This is a pretty impressive Christmas book, and it's a Christmas book, but you can't even tell where the lines really are. I mean, yes, okay, there is a pickup, obviously, for a Christmas book. There's a pickup in demand during Christmas time, but there's sales going on all year round for this book. If you pick it up at any time of the year, I bet you'll sell it at any time of the year. But yeah, and you can also come down here and look and see what books are down here. Like, are these any similar? Might as well check it out, because this is kind of where you get into where you can find like a whole bunch of books that you've never found before, just by coming down here and looking at like what is Amazon suggesting to you, what is kind of close to them. Here's this one. I only made $2.95 off of it, but I had one of them returned, and so that ate into the cost quite a bit. That is a problem with some of these Christmas books. Be careful with some of them, because they're like pop-up books. I can't remember which this one is, but it like opens like this, it's a weird book, but it can be damaged pretty easily, and that's one thing you just gotta be kind of aware of with some of these books. I've had issues with the recordable ones, just returned issues. I'm not for sure. I send it to my prep center, so I never see them. But I'm assuming that the recorder's not working or something. It's probably a battery. They just need to replace the battery. But you know how customers are. They get something, it doesn't work right away. They return it, say it's defective, and really upset you. You know how it goes. But yeah, this is the definitely one of the ways that I've bought a whole bunch of books that I've, you know, um, picked up on quickly the last few weeks, just because it's easier to go back in your past and pick up books that are, you know, tried and true. You know, you've already made money on it. Like this book right here, The Spider's Gift. I sold two of them, made 1883. Well, this year I bought five of them. Or five or six, I can't remember. I bought more than I did last year, and that's just to see if I can sell it all out. And then whenever it comes this time next year, I'll look back, I'll see how that performed, and then it's like, okay, I sold all six of them, made this much money, then I'm gonna buy, more. I'm gonna, but this book, I don't think if I sell six of them, I'll be impressed. But it was so dirt cheap. I'm pretty sure it was like $6 or something like that. Yeah, I got it for $6.11. So even if I get it sold for like that 24 price, I'll still make 100% ROI. But I bought six of them, so that 30 some dollars. Let's see. And in the past, it's always done good. It's always popped up there. The offer count, it's a little bit lower than it was last year. This book isn't near as impressive. Doesn't have as much demand as all the others, but still a little bit of seasonality in there. And that's what it's like. I've made sales on books that I'm just like, how did I make that much money on this? This one I think is a good example of that actually. I made sold it for $25. Pretty sure that I didn't buy it for much. I just bought some of these too recently. Yeah, 2 days ago at $6.04. Like stupid cheap. These are the books you want to find where you can sell a few of them, and then not really spend a whole lot of money on them. This one, let's see. So I sold these in 2024 at $25. So you can look back here, like the $25. So I probably sold it right around there, sometime in December, mid-December, right here. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you can take advantage of the buy box a little bit more. I would say it's a little safer, just because your demand's gonna be there and people are gonna want it quick. You know what I'm saying? Like in December, on December 10th, if I'm wanting to buy this specific book for my son and read it on Christmas Day and it's December 10th, I'm not gonna buy it from somebody who's in the UK and then possibly get it before Christmas. I'm gonna buy it from somebody who's on Prime and I can get it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. And so you can take advantage of this. Obviously, I sold it right here for that Prime bump price. I wasn't priced down here at that $15.70 whenever I sold it here. You know what I'm saying? So you can definitely take advantage of that a little bit more. I wouldn't say leverage it hardcore, but with some of them you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Oh, my camera stopped working. Well, since my camera stopped working, I'll expand this here. That's about it, guys. Sorry, got some technical issues. I'm doing it in my house right now, so usually I go to the library and have that going, but I think that I forgot to plug in my camera or something, so it died on me. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Again, there's a link in the description down below for Sellerboard. If you need some help with your back end stuff, I do some bookkeeping services. You can book a free consultation call with me at jonesbookkeeping.pro, because we're professional. And there's also a link in the description. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.